Hey guys, I'm doing well today. Today will be my round 7 preview of Crusaders versus Hurricanes. So, starting off the Crusaders, they've been very impressive so far within Super Rugby Aotearoa. They're top of the table with 4 wins. They had a bye week last round, which is, useful for them because, they can rest in that after their very impressive win against the Blues, if I have to say so myself. But yeah, when looking at the side, they haven't really made too many changes. It looks like they've only made 2 changes from their side against the Blues last time they played. And yeah, they are playing at Orange Ferry Stadium in Christchurch, so they'll have that home advantage, which is normally, very useful towards them winning most of their matches. So, at number 1, they've selected Joe Moody. At 2, they've gone with Cody Taylor, who's the captain of the side once again. At 3, they've selected Michael Alaalatoa. At 4, they're going with Sam Whitelock. At 5, they're going with Mitchell Dunsey. At 6, they're going with Tom Sanders. At 7, they're going with Tom Christie. And at 8, they're going with Y2 Douglas. So yeah, it's a very good looking forward pack. It's the same forward pack as last week. So they haven't made any changes really within that forward pack. Like I normally say, they have arguably the best front row within the competition with the likes of Moody, Taylor, and Alaalatoa. So that's something that the Hurricanes will have to try to counter within this game, particularly within that scrum, because the Crusaders are normally pretty good within the scrum. And yeah, their lock pairing of Whitelock and Dunshay has done pretty well. I mean, with Scott Barrett out, Whitelock's come back in. It's worked, I'd say. I wouldn't say it's the best lock combination I've seen so far within Super Rugby Aotearoa, but yeah, no, they've been pretty useful. I mean, particularly when there's lineouts as well. They've had a few lineout steals, so yeah, fair play to them. And then yeah, I mean their loose forward trio of Sanders, Christie, and Douglas has been, I'd say, pretty underrated. Really, I mean Sanders is someone to be honest, I never really heard of before Super Rugby Aotearoa, but for me watching him, I mean man, he's a solid player. He's a really solid player, and I actually enjoyed watching him. I mean, I already knew about Tom Christie. I've always backed him up and said he had the potential to be, a future All Black, and he's kind of proved it so far within the competition, particularly within that game of what was it, the Highlanders away, where he scored 2 tries. Yeah, he's definitely proved himself to be a potential All Black for the future. And then yeah, Y2 Douglas, he's always just your solid all rounded player, which you can practically rely on within the breakdown. So, the backs, they've selected at 9, Bryn Hall. At 10, they've gone with Richie Moanga. At 11, they're going with George Bridge. At 12, they're going with Jack Goodhue. At 13, they're going with Feitu Pia. At 14, they're going with Sebu Reese. And at 15, they're going with Will Jordan. So yeah, it's definitely a few changes in the back line. I mean, both changes are in the back line, with Feitu Pia replacing Brandon Enor, who has a toe injury, which is ruling him out of this game. He'll hopefully be back for the next round, but it seems that Brandon Enor, yeah, he's just not going to play this game, which is, unfortunate to see, because he's always one of those players which I always like watching. But yeah, other than that, they've also made the switch of Will Jordan, who's back in the starting lineup. I mean, I like to say it, and I think we can all say he's the most informed player in this competition. I think he has the most tries. And yeah, he's the most tries within the competition. And yeah, no, he's replacing David Havili, who's injured for the rest of the competition, as well as Ethan Blattletter. They've both been ruled out for the whole season, you could say. And yeah, no, it's just kind of unfortunate, because the Crusaders normally rely on their good bench. So to have 2 solid players, I mean, especially with the likes of David Havili out, yeah, that's definitely going to be a huge loss for them. But yeah, other than that, that's it with their starting lineup. Moving on to their bench. I would say their bench is pretty average, to be honest. It's kind of what I said before. I mean, with the likes of their injuries with David Havili, even Blattletter, I mean, they don't really have that depth they normally have within their bench. I mean, they have the likes of, Makaleho, Quinton Strange, and Mitchell Drummond, who can, I'd say, make an impact. I mean, they do have the likes of Bryn Cameron and Lester, who've come back into the 23-man squad, but I would say it's still average. It's not the best. Yeah, it's definitely not the best bench I've seen so far within this competition. So, moving on to the Hurricanes, I'd say, are very similar in the sense of the Crusaders, in which they've made not many changes to the side. I mean, I mean, they were very impressive against the Blues last week. Let's just first say that they were. As a Blues fan, when seeing that match, oh man, yeah, the Hurricanes just played well, especially Mame. He was just that you could say was arguably his best performance in a Hurricanes jersey. You could always say that. But yeah, other than that, it just seems that they've only made 2 changes from last week's win against the Blues. So, at number 1, they've selected Fraser Armstrong. At 2, they're going with Asafa Amora. At 3, they're going with Tyrell Lomax. At 4, they're going with James Blackwell. At 5, they're going with Scott Scrapton. At 6, they're going with Reed Prinsep. At 7, they're going with Duplessis Karifi. And at 8, they're going with Artie Sevilla. So yeah, it's a very good-looking forward pack. I mean, they've only made really 1 change within that forward pack with Asafa Amora coming into the starting lineup in replace of Dan Coles, who is injured with, I think it was a back strain, which is, just rolling out within this game, which means that he won't be traveling with the squad to Christchurch. But other than that, he's a solid player. I mean, Asafa Amora, he's kind of proven off the bench that he can definitely make an impact, and he's also started a few games as well in the absence of Dan Coles. So, yeah, he's definitely one for the future for sure, and certainly a potential All Black. So, yeah, no, it doesn't really change my opinion on how good the forward pack is, because he's in a way kind of making it better. But yeah, other than that, I mean, their props with Armstrong and Lomax were pretty good last week. Actually, I was actually very impressed with them last week. They normally haven't been doing well within the first 2 rounds. They were awful, to be frank, but they've really they've done well. They've really done well, and particularly in that Blues game, I was very impressed by them. Within those scrums, they just countered. The Hurricanes were so good in countering that Blues scrum. I mean, Akira couldn't really pick up a ball. Like, even if he picked up the ball, it would just collapse, and then it would just go down, and you have to pass it, and yeah, the Hurricanes did really well within that scrum. But yeah, with their lock pairing of Blackwell and Scrapton, it's always been pretty good. I mean, with their line-out steals and all that, and Blackwell is like the most solid player you can have as a lock, so yeah, you can definitely rely on him. And yeah, these forward trio of Prinsep, Karifi, and Sevilla. I mean, what else can you ask for? I mean, Karifi was insane last week. I mean, I think that was probably his best performance I've seen within this competition. I mean, he did get into my dream team, so yeah, he definitely deserves to be. But yeah, other than that, it's with the forward pack. Moving on to the backs, they've selected at 9 TJ Perinar, who's the captain of the side, due to Dan Coles, like I said, being out for the game. And at 10, they're going with Jackson Garden Basham. At 11, they're going with Ben Lamb. At 12, they're going with Lea Mape. At 13, they're going with Peter Amunga Jensen. At 14, they're going with Wes Goosen. And at 15, they're going with Jordy Barrett. So yeah, there's only 1 change I can see so far within that back line, with Wes Goosen replacing Kovis van Wijk, who I think is he's being rested for this game, really. So yeah, that's good to see, because he's definitely been, you could say, overworked, and he's done well with the Hurricanes so far. Yeah, it's kind of sad to see, because he's only been with the Hurricanes for 1 season, and he's already going off to Leicester Tigers, I see. So, but yeah, no, it just shows how much of an impact he's had already at the Hurricanes. It just like that, someone's just got him. So, but no, it was good while it lasted. Just seeing him in the Hurricanes jersey, because he's done pretty well for them with, I think, 3 or 4 tries in this competition, and I think he got, in total, including the previous Super Rugby season, I think he got 6 tries in total. So, yeah, it's a decent margin for a winger like himself. But yeah, other than that, they haven't really made any changes to their they haven't really made any changes to their back line. I mean, the only thing that I would really point out is that Ben Lamb is playing his last and final game for the Hurricanes. This will also be his 50th cap as well, so it's a good way to end it. So, yeah, no, it's kind of devastating to see, because Ben Lamb is one of those players which I've really enjoyed watching him. He's one of those players which I would turn on a Hurricanes match just to see him play. He's a try-scoring machine. He's scored, since his arrival in 2017, he scored 32 tries, which is insane for what, yeah, man, like, it's crazy how he's never been an All Black. Like, 32 tries. It's mad. But yeah, anyway, I'm not going to go too deep into that. I just think that Ben Lamb is criminally underrated in the All Black setup, and should have been in there, like, in late 2017. But he should have been. But Anyway, let's move on from that. Yeah, no. Other than that, I think that's it with the back line. So moving on to their bench, they haven't really made any changes to the bench really. I mean, with the likes of Wes Goosen, I'll just say coming from the bench off to the starting lineup from the previous game, but yeah, no, they have a very strong bench, you could say, with the likes of Riccatelli, Mafalejo, Alex Fido, Walker Asea, Faya Fita. They have Jamie Booth, Vince Asso, Chase Tiatia. I mean, it's a very strong bench. I wouldn't say, but in my opinion, I've seen stronger benches from the Hurricanes, so I'm gonna class this as a decent bench, not a strong bench. But yeah, that's it with the Hurricanes. That's all I can say with now. So moving on to the prediction. This is going to be a tight one, I would say, between these two teams. The Crusaders have won the last 6 Super Rugby matches between the sides, but the Hurricanes were the last team to actually beat the Crusaders at their home in 2016. So yeah, if there's a team that's going to do it, it's the stats say it'll be the Hurricanes. But yeah, when making my decision, I'm going to say, in my prediction for this game, I'm going to go with 27-23 to the Crusaders. Yeah, 27-23 to the Crusaders. That's my final prediction for this game. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.